Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I wanted to talk to you about the narcissist and black and white thinking. So let's jump in. The narcissist is a black and white thinker. There's no gray area. There's, on the scale you would have evil and good or terrible and greatness. And then you have a middle. Most of us abide in the middle, right? Well, the narcissist has no middle. They're just here and here thinking. So if you want to have a good relationship with a narcissist, explain to me, if they're fixed, how you're going to change that. They have the wimpiest muscles for self-control and to make change in their life. They're the tiniest little muscles. And it's kind of like they may go through a humbling stage where they get a collapse. And they may do a couple of workouts, do it for like 5 days. And that muscle, that wimpy muscle, as soon as it starts to get a little shape to it, it's over. And that's how it works with the narcissist. It's like a rubber band. They expand the rubber band to like here. And then the first thing that happens, boom, they're right back to who they were. It just takes one little crisis. And with them being black and white thinkers, they don't have the ability to advance from whoever they are today. They're just going to be the same or worse. Because generally speaking, their self-control and our flesh, unchecked, will always go backwards over the years. If it's not kept in check, it will go backwards. And sometimes a collapse for a narcissist may help them straighten out just a little bit, because they may fix a little bit of how they have degraded so much. But all it's going to do is, instead of them having 5 relationships, they may only keep 2 at a time. So they'll be half as toxic, and they may keep that in check, but they're never going to have just one single person and grow with them, be able to accept some sort of accountability or constructive criticism. Absolutely not. That will never happen. It may look like it's happening because in the beginning, they may start to do that until they flip back again, where that rubber band can't handle any more tension on that little muscle. So this is how the narcissist is, and that's why what you get in the beginning is the love bomb. The love bomb is, you're all perfect. You're all the way over here, okay? And all the devalue phases is just leading up to you becoming here. So they do this because they're playing with you. That's where they drain you. But really how they really think is here and here. They don't want to do this if they didn't have to. If they could just suck your fuel, go from here to here with you, and jump to the next one, you best believe they wouldn't stick in the middle fighting with you. They tolerate that because that's what they have to do. They feign having to like somebody because they're straight evil, y'all. They are the bottom of the barrel when it comes to any ethics, morals, or values, because that's what a demon's like, y'all. A demon is not gonna take a high road ever, but they can fake it if they have enough fuel. And where they get fuel, how do they get fuel? They get it through you consenting to giving it to them, because you don't care about yourself enough. You don't value yourself enough. You put somebody on a pedestal, that individual, and you tell yourself they're better than you, or you did, right? Until you heal, chances are you were better than them. And I say that only because you had values and morals, and you lacked a little bit of courage and a little bit of love for yourself. But if you get that aligned, if and when, going through your healing phases and stages, you will get to a point, and self-love sounds really, to me, it sounded really dumb. I'll just be honest with you. And I kind of thought that self-love was somebody that was arrogant. But I found over time, through my own healing, what I guess I'm getting at is one of the things that I didn't really necessarily believe in, that I became a huge believer of later, was self-love. And you're not doing it out of arrogance. And that's something that I had a problem with. I was thinking, how can I love myself and not be in a mode of arrogance, because I hate arrogant people, man. Despise them. And at the root of what the narcissist is arrogant, jealous, hateful individual that only gets some form of sadistic joy or adrenaline from wrecking the best individual in their life that cares about them more than anybody in the world. They love to hate that individual. They love to mock them and wreck them. And the problem with that is when you're a light worker and if you know the Lord, then they're, unbeknownst to them, or who cares, because they probably know what they're doing, they're mocking an individual that God has taken stock and allowed his spirit to dwell within. So when they come against you and mock you, God knows that they are mocking. The mock is mocking at him. And it's a test for you because he wants to test your patience. He wants to test your willpower, your stature, your self-control. He wants to test your phases of healing and bring you to a level of temperance. And that's what balance is in this whole situation, because both the narcissist and the empath are unbalanced when they're children and in their emotional state. They're emotionally imbalanced to some degree. The empath, with a little bit of help, can rearrange and align very quickly, depending on how aggressive they are in their healing, the time, the work they put in to develop themselves with the Lord and to focus on, because you're going to screw up, you're going to mess up, and that's the worst thing, but you can't let it, the setback of that, because you're going to have things happen where you're going to react when you're trying to heal from reactive abuse. But just know that it's something that somebody's trying to trigger in you, for one. But if it is triggering you, then there's something there that needs healing. And I've heard this before, and I understand it now more clearly. And you may not know this till maybe something the narcissist will do that's real sinister to you, where you'll figure it out that way, kind of like I have. But if you could find out what the narcissist is really coming to you for, what form of supply do they like about you, it helps you to strategize. In my case, it was several things. But in some cases, it could be one thing. And there may be a way around that to where you can get the narcissist to lay off. Not to like fold for them, no. But when you know their strategy, then you can form a real good defense or offense, whatever you need to do. And that's my point. But the best thing you could do to a narcissist is don't say anything and just let them destroy themselves. They will eventually destroy themselves because they won't be able to handle your silence, and they will continue and continue and continue and continue. And that devil, it's got to get fed, and they'll let the whole world around them crash down if you continue to be silent with them, and they will crash themselves out. They will wreck themselves right into the ground, right into a psychological devastation. This is the thing too. A lot of times the narcissist keeps you and builds an illusion for you to walk into, right? Who you're supposed to be as a role in the illusion and who they are. Of course, they're the superhero and the tyrant and the king or the queen. And you are a servant, slave, and you're like a gopher. Go for this, go for that. Pay for this, pay for that. And somebody that has zero boundaries and lets them walk all over you. And you're insignificant when you are the star of the show, y'all. You're the one with all the fuel. You're the one with the car and the fuel. And you're the driver too, but you're doing everything they want you to do, and you're driving them wherever they want to go, to hellholes. Picking them up, dropping them off, funding their bull. I mean, that's fictitiously how it is, right? And they put nothing into the relationship. They just suck from you like a Hoover vacuum cleaner until you're all gone. All your fruits, all your juice, all your charisma, all your empathy. They leave you like a hollow shell, and then you start to react and pop off. You wonder why. But the quicker you can heal, the quicker you can raise up your vibration, you will defeat the narcissist and you'll be covered. But they have black and white thinking. They can never go gray area. They can't take criticism. They have to be superior. And just like I said, when they come in, they love bomb you. That's you you're like a god status to them. Then when they leave, you're the devil to them. So when they come into your life, you're their god. When they leave, you're the devil. I hate to use that analogy, but that's basically really how they see it, not how we see things. So let's put things into perspective. And that's their own self-sabotage. They have to do that. They have to do that. If they don't process their emotions, there's no other way to get rid of their emotions, to adjust themselves so they can maintain a lifestyle that they have to maintain. A lie. They got to suck your good fruit, project onto you, tell you how crappy you are because they're looking at themselves, because you're wearing their energy, and they run off because you have no fuel anyway. That's the self-sabotage. Before they would even have a chance to, a lot of times, have emotions of that deep love and all that, that maybe would cultivate that muscle. But again, like I said, it's obsolete in my opinion. They run to the next one. And then they're a god, and you're the devil. You see? So they project everything this way to you, all their projections, and they mirror this person, the new supply. And then when they run out of fuel, well, all of a sudden, you start clapping back with them, and now you're the devil, and you're God again, because you recovered. So now they project their evil on them, and they hate them because they now look like the narcissist, and they hate themselves. And they're imitating them and everything because they're wearing their energy. They smell like them. And then they're mirroring you back to yourself again because you're God. And then when you're dry again, you have no commodity. They're only in search for commodity, goods. And you're an object for goods, for free goods for them. In fact, the only work they put in is just them being a lie. Then when you're out of fuel, then they leave you again. They turn over here. You're the devil. This is God. They mirror all this stuff while they're siphoning from them, getting on their vibration, and they project their evil on you. Then they triangulate the both of you between each other if they can. And that's where people will say, if you don't play into the triangulation, and you don't accept their negativity, because that's where they project onto you, you see. The projection is what leads to the triangulation, you feeding into it. It causes jealousy and childhood trauma. So when you heal, you quit doing that, then they have nobody to project upon, or very few pieces, right? Maybe their son or their daughter, a little bit here and there, but they can't take too much because they don't give too much. The person at the grocery store once in a while, or, there are other supplies, but they really can't do that because a lot of the other supplies they're just seeing for the weekend. You can't treat a weekender supply source bad because they won't come back because they're not trauma bonded like the primaries are. They'll be like, you can kiss my butt, because they have another life anyway. So it's got to be somebody that's kind of in that rotation of the deeper part of their harem, because they think they invested, but they didn't invest. I come back over here, and if you don't accept their projections and get into the triangulation, then they got to project upon this person that's supposed to be God. So their love bombing's cut short, and then they got to defend you and talk you up to them, because now you're God, and they turned into the devil real quick, you see, because that was their only out. Black and white thinking, y'all. Give me a like. Love y'all. Till next time, Soldier. Peace, we out.